Hey folks, part of what I said, the ISL corner, which is what I'm looking to do from here on out, now until the rest of the season, and of course talking about Indian football. This is the little segment that I will have on this YouTube channel talking specifically Indian football. Big draw, disappointing draw. You could look at it one of many ways when it comes to Mumbai City and Hyderabad ending up in a scoreless draw. Brave defending by Hyderabad, looked confident defending against a team that maybe at this point of the season, maybe even sooner than that, one should have started saying, you know what, they're missing a few players. They're missing a true killer in the area. And you saw it a lot of times this season. It's the seventh time they can't score. Out of those 7 times, if I'm not mistaken, 3 of them have been at home. So that gives you another indication. And it's a team that doesn't have that consistent play offensively. Yes, are they courageous? Yes. Did they try going forward? Yes. But everything you can't. In one thing that I'm not a big fan, and I think it was very evident when I was doing commentary during my stint over in India, was statistics tell half truths. You have to pile up. You have to really gather a lot of statistics together to be able to tell the story, and then and only then can they tell you only part of the story. In terms, I mean, if you look at the statistics overall, you end up seeing that Mumbai City, for the most part, had good control of the game in a lot of situations. Although that can be told one way, but at the same time, you can also say that Hyderabad was able to maintain them and control them and neutralize them in certain other facets. Hyderabad, especially with Arshdeep, he had a sensational game, had a couple of saves. There was one in particular that just blows my mind in terms of how good it was. And got to give him credit in terms of what his team was doing. Manoj also at left back was sensational. The back line was very solid for Hyderabad overall. So something that one has to really uh, tip their hat to, and getting a very valuable point at home. Despite it being at home, it's still a very valuable point for them in terms of what they were looking for, as they're just looking to end the season the strongest way possible. So what ends up being here? Well, many were expecting a Mumbai City this season that maybe was more of a contender, was maybe more of a protagonist, and it wasn't going to be the case. This isn't last year's edition or the year before last. It definitely wasn't. And they're missing that number 9 or that player up top that's not only going to score, but ends up being that first line of defense. And that's where Jorge Pereira Diaz ended up being a difference on this squad. It's not basically saying that he's the one that's missing, but a player of those qualities is missing, because it helps in terms of being able to cause problems defensively for the opposing team, to have a player that moves around a little bit more, to have a player that alongside Changte, and maybe the whole Changte experiment to an extent has worked, but it wasn't necessary. And if it were to work and was being also used in addition to, maybe it makes Mumbai City much more dangerous than what they ended up being in a lot of cases, which you could say they are one of the big disappointments of the season for now. I'll let you think that. I'll let you analyze that in the grand scheme of things. So when you start seeing all of this, when you start analyzing all of what this match conveys, well, it ends up being a microcosm of the season for Mumbai City. Unfortunately, they can't put the ball in the back of the net. They try, they have options, they create them, but ends up being that last touch. And that's maybe something that they're going to have to look at going into next year to try and refine, to maybe get someone new and be able to make that difference once again. Meanwhile, Hyderabad, unfortunate for them that the season's come down the way it has for them, but collectively, they've played some inspired ball. But you can't just play on inspiration alone. You have to be able to have some type of consistency and some type of higher level of talent if you're expecting a team to be able to perform and perform at a level, mind you, where they're going to be able to consistently play well, consistently get results, and end up at the next tier of football, regardless if it's India or wherever. This is applicable to any other player in any other team in any other place.